How do people state their opinions and claims? Are you, as a student, able to state your opinions clearly? These are the questions that you need to ponder on, especially that we encounter everyday pressing issues. Not just because this topic would be included in your curriculum, but also because you would need it for everyday lives. So this is Teacher Mayo, and this is Grade 10 World Literature. Let's experience the literature of the world through English. This week's main topic would be structural elements of argumentative text. We are going to tackle three different subtopics, which are exposition or statement of positions, argumentative text or supporting details, and restatement of opinions or conclusion. This topic would last for 4 days, and I hope you're going to stay with us up to the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So the focus for day 1 would be exposition or statement of positions. Before we formally start, let's take a look at this picture first. What do you see in the picture? Correct. That is a photo of two persons arguing where the flower is facing. So what do you think is the boy telling about the flower? Yes, correct. The boy is thinking or telling, pointing out that the flower is pointing left. Now, what do you think is the woman thinking about the flower? Precisely. The woman is thinking that the flower is actually facing right, contrary to what the boy had mentioned, right? But who do you think among them is correct? Yes, you got it right. No one among them is actually incorrect because they are both correct. Now, how did that happen? The point is, these two persons are in different positions. Therefore, they see this flower in two different ways. They are contradictory to each other, but they are actually correct in their own ways depending on how they see the object presented in the picture. So, to have a deeper understanding of what exposition or statement of positions is, let's continue. So, what is this position statement? Before we answer this, let's answer this question first. What is an argumentative text or essay? Argumentative text or essay is presenting both sides of an issue. It's going to focus on whether it agrees or disagrees on an issue, but then again, it's still presenting both sides in order to refute the opposing argument. And lastly, of course, it's trying to convince the reader to agree with the point of view of whoever the speaker or writer is. Now, as always, we're going to have a reading activity, and there are specific questions that you need to answer. Number 1, what is the issue presented in each excerpt? Number 2, what is the stand of the speaker about each issue? Number 3, what are the specific viewpoints that the speaker in each excerpt wanted to impart? 4, do you agree or disagree with the speaker's viewpoint? Why or why not? 5, what is your view on the issue presented? Those questions sound difficult, right? But don't you worry because they are already here in this activity sheet. So those questions would already be answered by you if you're going to complete this activity sheet. So you just needed to write an issue for number 1. You just need to underline the stand of the writer about the issue, whether she or he agree, disagree, or is neutral to the issue. Number 4, cite the statements of the viewpoints of the speaker about the issue. Number 5, present if you agree or disagree with the speaker's stand about the issue. And lastly, you just need to underline whether you agree, disagree, or is neutral on the issue. Okay? So, are you ready for our excerpt? Okay, that's the spirit. So, let's start. Excerpt 1, School Choice, an Educational Custom Fit by Mark Lyles. Imagine if only one size of pants were sold in stores and government regulations wouldn't allow any other size to be made available to consumers. This may sound crazy, but it's much like what's happening with the education of our nation's children. As Americans, we enjoy a wide range of personal choice. Thankfully, it includes our ability to select the pants that fit us best. But think for a moment about traditional public education. For decades, the public school system has offered a one size fits all approach to educating our nation's children. As we approach the 21st century, the public school system began to show its age. More and more children began to fall behind in a rapidly changing environment marked by the introduction of personal computers and later the internet. Sensing a need for change, people began to push new educational models that would keep up with the times. This marked the beginning of the school choice movement. Both charter schools and school voucher programs are collectively referred to as school choice initiatives, in that they allow parents freedom to choose individualized education options for their children that are outside of the traditional one size fits all public school system. A school voucher program provides parents with certificates that are used to pay for education at a school of their choice rather than the public school to which they are assigned. Charter schools, on the other hand, are publicly funded schools that have been freed from inefficient public school system rules and regulations in exchange for accountability to produce positive, measurable results. These agreed to results are set forth in each school's charter. The ability for parents to choose an educational path that is best for their children and an exciting opportunity currently revolutionizing public education. There you have it. So, before we move on to the second excerpt, let's define what is a position statement first. A position statement is like a thesis or goal. It describes one side of an arguable viewpoint. As we go back to the meaning of arguments, it's talking about how we should always be clear on whether we agree or disagree on a certain issue. So, this is the point of position statement. Our claims should be clear, but then again, we should also present the counter arguments in order for us to point out and emphasize how we are also correct in what we are claiming, okay? So when you write or construct an exposition, you do the following. 1. Makes a stand about an issue. Next, present your statement of position. It's either you agree or disagree. Or, let's say, if you are neutral, you should be clear. Next, supports your point of view with evidence. Aims to try to convince the reader to agree with your opinion. Take certain course of action by giving reasons and examples to support. Okay, there you have it. Now let's have excerpt 2. Single Parent Struggle by Chris Polito. For many years, children growing up in a single parent family have been viewed as different. Being raised by only one parent seems impossible to many, yet over the decades it has become more prevalent. In today's society, many children have grown up to become emotionally stable and successful, whether they had one or two parents to show them the rocky path that life bestows upon all human beings. The problem lies in the difference of children raised by single parents versus children raised by both a mother and a father. Does a child need both parents? Does a young boy need a father figure around? Does the government provide help for single parents? What role do step parents and step siblings play? With much speculation, this topic becomes very intriguing. What people must understand is that proper raising a child does not rely on the structure of a family but should be more focused on the process or values that are taught to these children as they learn to mature. Children of single parents can be just as progressive with emotional, social, and behavioral skills as those with two parents. There you go. Now, let me remind you that you should also finish this activity sheet and pass it to me by email, okay? So that concludes our topic for today. I hope you learned a lot. So for your assignment, you need to watch a TV or listen to a radio news program and list down one issue. Listen to the opinions of some authorities about the issue and determine their stand on the issue. And lastly, what did they say to support their stand about the issue? So you need to send your output online together with the activity sheet that I made you answer during the activity, okay? So I hope you enjoyed a lot in this video and I hope you learned a lot as well. So see you next time. Goodbye.